Hi everyone, I'm Joe. Today it's time for me to do my monthly reading wrap up for July 2022. Before I start talking about the books, however, I will mention something that affected the amount of books I read in July and indeed at the end of June, and that is, and I did say this on Twitter, so some more amount of people may know, but at the end of June, my mum had a fall. It was quite a bad fall. She fractured her hip really badly. She had to go into hospital for 2 weeks and get that mended. She's now got metal pipes and plates and that sort of thing in her leg and her hip. She is now, however, home and being looked after well from me and my sisters. And that is why I'm mentioning it, because, of course, she's needing quite a lot of help because she's barely able to get around for now. I mean, she's mending well, but it's still going to take quite a number of months. Therefore, obviously, my ability to read and such is being heavily dictated by when I can fit it in around, going around and, making sure my mum is happy and, getting enough to eat and that sort of thing. Same as my sisters, frankly. However, it is some holiday, so my sisters are in a fairly convenient space as well. Anyway, enough about that. I will, however, start talking about the books. The first of which, there are 4 of them by the way, is one that I actually DNF'd. I actually did not finish this book. Not because it was a bad book, because frankly it was too difficult and the writing just didn't work for me at that time, what happened to Mum. I couldn't think straight, and that is Transfiguration by Michael Bishop. This is one of the SF Masterworks, as you can tell. I've generally enjoyed most of the SF Masterworks, even the ones that have had dubious content due to them when they were written and such. I've generally had mostly redeeming features, 1 or 2 at least. This didn't at the time because it just didn't work for me at the time. I couldn't take this in. The idea of it is that a sort of jungle type planet. A guy goes there in essentially this very advanced sort of genetic disguise disguised as essentially kind of a monkey type creature, and to live with this primate species on the planet and to try and discover what's happening on this planet and what exactly is this species capable of. At the time I couldn't take it in, so I'm not saying I won't read this, just I'm not reading it at the moment because it's not the right book, frankly. It's just one of them things. Next I'll talk about 2 of the books that I actually did finish, and these are sequels to each other and indeed part of an ongoing series, and that is The Dead in Their Vaulted Arches and As Chimney Sweepers Come to Dust. This is books 6 and 7 in the Flavia Deleuze series, written by Alan Bradley. Flavia Deleuze is a young girl. At this point she's becoming a teenager. Her fascination and her love in life is chemistry, hence why there is a murder mystery type series based around her. And I don't really want to say too much about the plots of these. Suffice to say, she lives in this big country house with her father and her 2 older sisters. Her mother disappeared years ago. There was no news about her mother. However, in the 6th book there is news about her mother. I'm not going to say what kind of news, and let's just say that triggers off the plot of the 6th book, and as a result the 7th follows on from that as well. The 7th is different because the 7th is not set in this big country home. It's actually, Flavia actually goes to Canada for the book, which seems a bit surprising if you know the previous books are all set around this one country house, but it does work actually, and I'm happy that I've read these. They're good parts of a good ongoing series. So if you've read any of this series, then you'll want to read these. If you haven't, then frankly I would recommend the first one, because it's a good series. Well written, cleverly written, and interesting characters that are a little bit different from the normal. And the third fourth, depending on how you look at it. You know, the first book I didn't actually finish that I did read was, oh yes, A Blink of the Screen by Terry Pratchett. This is the collected short fiction of Terry Pratchett, and with this book read, this means that unless I'm unaware of a particular short story or something, I think I've now read every single Discworld related book going. Everything. Actually, I've read nearly everything by Terry Pratchett at this point. There's only a few odds and ends books, I believe, that I haven't read, although I will be in the upcoming future. I've been reading and reviewing mobile for all of the Discworld novels, and indeed there will be reviews of other novels as well. I will probably review this as well because I really liked this. It had a collection of short fiction, some of it Discworld related, about half of it Discworld related, half of it's not Discworld related, and it's basically stories. I mean, for instance, the first short story that Terry Pratchett ever wrote is in this collection, and it's an interesting one. You can still tell it's Terry Pratchett because of his humour and such, but it's quite different actually, and it's got a different feel to it than what I was expecting, and I loved it because of that actually, because this is Terry Pratchett sort of freed up, because obviously this is a lot of their stories in this are before Discworld and before he became kind of more of an established rhythm to his writing. A lot of these feel more experimental because, well, they were obviously, you know, he's learning his craft, you know, writing and such. So these feel very different, and frankly, if you're a Terry Pratchett fan, I would recommend this because these are brilliant short stories. Some of them are really funny as well. I mean, he certainly hasn't, you can tell it's Terry Pratchett by the humour as always, because his humour in them is, as always, brutal at times and to the point, but also, you know, always tongue-in-cheek. You know he never means any harm by what he's saying, even though he might be being very sarcastic about a real political or, you know, institutional point in some manner. You know that he's not actually meaning anything by it, he's just making a point using it in some significant way. And it's a really good book, of which I really did enjoy. And with that said, that is actually it for this month's reading. It's a very short month, hence a very short video. This will actually be barely 10 minutes long. If you've read any of these or you would like to, then please leave a comment and we can have a talk about them. Or if you'd like to know more, then again, please leave a comment and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. Hopefully my next reading wrap up in a month's time will be a little bit longer because I've read a rather more books. Obviously my mum is recovering rather well, so I should start, and I've already started to be able to have a bit more, you know, normal sort of everyday things happening again. So that should work out. And for the record, I'm going to America at the end of August this year, so that will affect my video schedule mildly, because I'll still be doing a video per week, but for instance, I'm not sure exactly when things are going to be yet in terms of like my monthly wrap, that sort of thing, because, you know, I'm going to be in a different country or a different continent. But there will be some videos related to the Walk-On as well, so it should be an interesting time. And with that said, that is it for this video. All of my social media links can be found in the description box below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.